All right, we are going to look at maximizing the internal rate of return, maximizing the cash value in a policy with an actual policy that is entering policy year 8. So it's always good to look at projections and how to design policies for maximum cash value that gives you more money, which then you can use as an asset on your balance sheet, whether it's personal or for your business, use for infinite banking if I want to borrow and repay, or use it for retirement down the road. But seeing policies that are actually in force, real stuff, is oh so valuable. And we've got a lot of this on our agent training program and available for members as well. But we do like to share this as well because I always talk about proof of performance for major mutual companies, properly designed policies, all that good stuff. So we're going to look at a policy that I actually put this in force toward the end of my time at the executive benefit planning firm where I designed policies for corporations. That's when I met this individual. It was a policy issued in 2014 with one of the major mutuals. His policy date and year 8 is coming up February of 2022. So we're coming up, we're only a few months away from that now. The client must make a decision. So he's going to decide one of the following here. Continue to pay just the minimum premium only or stop funding altogether. Now, to provide some background on this case, what we're going to really focus on in this video is how to maximize the internal rate of return, because depending on what option he selects, we will see different results here. If he keeps funding, you'll see a little bit weaker internal rate of return, but he's adding to a bigger pile of money. If he shuts the funding down altogether, which was originally his plan, he'll see a higher internal rate of return. Same company product, it's already in force. So it's interesting the different levers we can pull here to maximize an individual's policy value short-term and long-term. So he selected one of the major mutual companies. When he started, he was 65. Now he's 72, going on 73. When I talk to him, I'm like, where's the time go? Because I don't know. So originally, his plan was to pay $1 million per year. I'm sorry, $1 million over 5 years, $200,000 per year. Now, he did not fund it at $200K per year. Year 1, he paid $200K. I believe he did the same year 2, but then he kicked the funding down to about $100K. Next year, $300,000, made a big PUA catch-up payment, non-MEC. You can do that kind of stuff if a policy's set up properly. So he was creative with the funding, but he's also paid in more. So you're going to see his total input, the total dollar amount he's paid in thus far is about $1.13 million. What's happened is he's heavily involved in real estate investing. So as the years have passed, he's done well. Sometimes he's held on to investments longer, which that's why some years he has not paid $200K in, and then some years he's made big catch-up payments, $300,000 and change. But as a result, he's actually been able to pay more in than he originally anticipated, which is good. He views it as, hey, I don't really have anywhere else to put it. I've got my real estate investments. I've got funds, some money over in the market. He's considering other investments. I believe he has some in the market, a small portion, not really his thing, but he does like to diversify. But because he's done well here, he's allocated more money here. And then as a result, he's used this money for, guess what? Real estate investments. Instead of positioning money in the bank and using that to purchase real estate or borrowing against equity from real estate, he's used a cash value life insurance policy as an alternative, really a cash storage. Core benefits to a policy: safe, liquid, tax-free, all that good stuff. So let's take a look at the numbers here and have some fun with this. What we're going to look at, so when he started, he was 65 years old. Okay, now, going on 73, policy year 8 that you see right there, that will actually come into effect February of 2022. That's his policy anniversary date. So we're going to look at two options here. Option 1, so I'm going to walk through line by line, is what it looks like if he continues to pay the base premium. So his base premium was $28,000 and change. MEC limit was $200,000. So he had very close to a 1090 split, 65-year-old individual. He did receive an ultra preferred rating when he started the policy, was healthy, took care of himself, all that good stuff. But not quite a 1090 split because of his age with this particular company. We got it as close as possible. But here's what we want to look at. Premium. This is going to assume he continues to pay the premium. His original plan was to start taking income at this point in time, but he doesn't need it yet. His real estate investments are producing. He says, hey, I've got excess cash. What does it look like, Steve, if I continue to add money into the product? So premium due, annual outlay, his actual out-of-pocket, and this would bring his total payments up to 1.159 right now. Thus far, he's paid in a total his cost basis of 1.1131. So if he pays in the premium, 1159, net cash value, based off the company's present dividend rate, will project to grow to about 1.272. So he's already got substantially more money than what he's paid in. It's performing. This is an actual policy. So we can see the internal rate of return here, annual IRR, there we go. We always talk about what? 4 major mutual companies, properly designed policy, net IRR, safe, liquid, tax-free area to position money, somewhere between that 3 to 5% range. He started when he was 65. That also addresses a common objection of, am I too old to start a policy? If you go with a high insurance expense policy, yes, it won't look attractive. If you minimize expenses in the same manner you can do for someone who's 35 years old, you'll see very, very similar results on the cash value, internal rate of return, everything's doing what it's supposed to. This is based on a 6% dividend assumption right now moving forward. This will adjust over time, but it has performed, which is beautiful. But what I want to look at here, look at those IRRs, tops out at what? About 4.1%. He continues to pay the premium indefinitely in this example. He probably won't do this, but we're showing what it will look like if he does decide to keep making payments compared to this guy. So he's entering year 8. His original plan was to stop payments after 5 years. $1 million total, $200K per year. That's what he wanted to pay in. He's funded more than that. So now he's in year 8, he's paid additional funds years 6 and 7, totaling about another $131,000. Let's assume he stops. So why we don't see a base premium column like we do in this example is this guy, this reduced paid up, we chop the premium off. What happens as a result? Death benefit drops. With a reduced paid up option, let's start without a reduced paid up option to provide more information. This policy is a paid up at age 100 contract, legacy 100. So what that means is premiums are contractually due up until age 100. Nobody ever pays that long, but that's how long he can make payments. Because of that premium being due that long, how the insurance company prices the product and the death benefit appreciation assumes that that premium will still be paid every year. Meaning if I go reduced paid up and chop the premium off, once you go reduced paid up, you cannot make payments anymore. What happens here, there's no premium due. We pulled all of this from the illustration. The company says, okay, based on how much you have in cash value and your age, the certain cash value will purchase you a paid up policy, paid up death benefit with no more premiums due. In this example, about 1.8. It'll be just about that. This is the actual performance again. Now when he goes RPU, depending on the timing, sometimes you see this. There's a slight dip in the IRR for 1 year, or you can look at this and say, hey, maybe it makes sense to pay into it for another year. But then what happens? Well, first, let's isolate this actually. Let's look at year 8. We go RPU, pay nothing in. You see a slight dip in the IRR. There's your death benefit compared to over here, 2.3. Now, when I first met him, he said, I don't care about the death benefit. He's got plenty of investments, doesn't care one bit. Still doesn't really care, a little bit more, but he's like, my family's good with the other assets and the real estate investments I have. This does play some leverage, though, with the tax-free death benefit. He's starting to see the value more and more. RPU, drop in death benefit. What happens the next year? He pays nothing in over here. Here's what he's interested in. He's very interested in not making payments Look at the IRR difference. Same company, same dividend rate, same everything. It's an in-force illustration, so we couldn't make any tweaks other than that reduced paid up. And you do see a nice bump on the IRR, but you're paying less money in, you're paying in zero. So if I look at the age 80 cash value, for instance, I'm at about 1.67 compared to over here, you're at 1.918 because we've continued to pay premiums in. So the question is, does he want to continue to add to a policy and earn, call it a little over a 4% IRR year over year, it's the annual IRR, or does he want to stop payments altogether and on a smaller bucket of money, see an IRR north of 4.5% for a number of years? It's up to him. At the end of the day, this is information we provide really to give the best recommendation and let the individual choose for themselves. But it's interesting just having this awareness as a policyholder, as an agent as well, on how to maximize the cash value, because remember, his original plan was to stop making payments. He said, after 5 years, I'm done. He was fortunate. He was able to pay more in. That helped accelerate the cash value even further. He's got a bigger bucket of money. And now he's at a point in time where he can make the choice. If he still wants to shut her down, it's going to perform nicely. If he wants to keep paying in, he can go with that reduced paid up to maximize IRRs at a later date. Whenever you hit that kill switch, you'll see the boost in the internal rate of return, but it's good to have awareness on that. So a lot of fun here. If you're working with us, this is the kind of stuff we look at over time. I still have regular review meetings with him. I do enjoy them. Everyone that we work with, I enjoy having review calls with. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and as always, I hope this helps. Hey guys, Steve Parisi here. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you'd like more information or to see some custom policies for yourself, feel free to call or email our offices at the contact information below.